Hey all, it's Turning the Corner with your host Tip, where it's a podcast where you don't have to agree with me, you don't have to like me, but you will respect me. I've been MIA for about a week or two because I had surgery. With abdominal surgery number 3. I had adhesions removed. That's right. Adhesions are scar tissue that form. It look like bubble gum that just stretches. So the shit sticks to my organs and it sticks to my abdominal wall and it just pools like a mofo. I mean, it feels like I'm in a constant trolley work. So 2018, I had my gallbladder out. And for 5 years after, I suffered. And I went through every test you could make up until they finally let me have surgery. And they opened me up and I was full of adhesions that they removed. Well, they usually come back every 3 to 5 years. Well, guess who's came back within 3 years because I could feel that pain in my right upper quadrant, feeling like a constant trolley work. So I saw my surgeon again. He opened me up, removed more adhesions, and set me on my way. So I'll see it again probably in about 3 to 5 years because they usually always come back and the only cure is surgery. So that's what I've been doing. I've also been covering a missing woman's case on my other podcast, True Crime with Tip Klein, Sarah Reynolds, missing in New Milford Township, VA. So I've been covering that case. But today I got on this podcast because I want to talk about what it feels like when you stop talking to somebody you talk to every day. And if you've been following me, this is going to talk about how I've dealt with losing somebody in my life that I cared a lot for. And this is somebody who I had in my life for 8 years. I talked to or saw every day for 8 years. We were my best friend, a confidant, a shoulder to cry on, a supporter of everything I did, and a business associate, and someone that I wanted to grow with and have a life with. To me, because it was somebody who was in front of my face for 8 years that I didn't realize. But he was married anyway, up until 3 years ago, and then he's been separated. And apparently he's still working it out with his wife that I didn't know about. So it was if you listen to my first 2 episodes, you'll hear the story. I don't want to talk about it, but I want to talk about the aftermath because it's been about since June 26th when I found out everything that I moved somebody that was a constant in my life. And all because of lies and selfishness, and temptation and deceit, because he couldn't respect me. Because he was in it for himself. And, you think if you start sometimes dating a friend that's known you for a long time, then you know who they are, right? After 8 years, talk to them almost every single day, work with them for 8 years almost, give or take, you don't know them at all. Even if you live with them. I didn't live with them, but I've lived with exes who are fucking younger. You never know somebody. I think it's important to talk about what happens after something traumatic happens, and trauma doesn't always mean physical abuse. Trauma is mental, emotional, financial, sexual, coercive control, anything that makes you feel less than, anything that makes you feel like shit or makes you feel like just depressed and sad and somebody's knowingly does something to you, knowing that's going to hurt you, doesn't anyway. And then when they find out, they hold it against you and act like what a problem. And then they block you and they stonewall you and cut you off with no explanation, with no apology. And it's like reading a book and only getting halfway through it before somebody just rips it out of your hands and you don't get the ending. That's what it feels like, if you can understand that. And your mind plays games and it fills in the gaps because that's how our brains protect us. And I've always been somebody who has been fucked over by men, lied to, cheated on, abused, deceived, screwed over, whatever it is, I've dealt with it. And stonewalling has actually been the most traumatic part of everything. Even more than getting hit, strangled, beaten, shit broken, jobs ruined, being ignored is my number one trigger. So when this person ended up being just like the rest of the guys, who was the last person I ever thought could be or would be or want to be, I got blocked as if I did something wrong, as if I cheated on my wife and had 2 side girlfriends and then called everybody out. I told people, but I'm not a homewrecker. I didn't know he's working it out with his wife, living separately. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't think that living apart for 2 years, and I took his word for it. Anyway, again, listen to episodes 1 and 2. But I think the aftermath is also important to talk about because I have died of soul searching since June 26th. When I found out he was not seeing just me, but another girl, and working it out with his wife that he's only separated from. They've gone marriage to counseling for 2 years. Yeah. It's impressive that this guy had this much time in his hands, considering he was always so busy. But it's been really affecting me, and in ways that emotions stirred up that I didn't know I had feelings that hard for him. I didn't know that. I always cared about him. He was always a good friend. was my best friend. But there were more feelings there than I was aware of because when we went no contact, not my choice. I should have been the one that blocked him, but no, he had to be in control because that's what narcissists do. I had more feelings for what I thought, and I was devastated. Not because I want to romantically be with him, but I had more feelings meeting all the way around, professionally, personally, romantically, platonically, and it hurt. It hurt being fucked over by a man that saw you at your worst and heard you cry, watched you cry. You watched you go through hell and back and hit rock bottom, pull yourself back up, and then put you in it again. Especially when it's someone you never imagined would or could do that to you. So I went through the phases of anger, depression, denial, acceptance over and over and over to now where I'm just seeing things more clearly now. It took over a month for it to really set in and get over the shock and the trauma that is caused, because it is trauma. I have cried myself to sleep almost every day. I have been waiting for my phone to light up for an apology, or at least an explanation of why he could be out from the start when I asked questions, when I had a gut feeling and I asked questions. And I ignored it because I just did not want to believe he was that bad. Because I didn't think he could be. I didn't think he was capable. You're probably going to hear me cry in this episode because it's been very hard to navigate. And I think he listens to these episodes on this podcast, and I know his wife does. So it would get to him. But it's been very hard. And I've only been talking to one person really about it, maybe two. And at first I told everybody. Now it gets old after a while, but I feel the same. I feel devastated and lost. And the person that would help me through this is the person that caused it. So wrap your head around that. You would think, why would you want your phone to light up by somebody who did this to you? They disrespected you, they disregarded you, they disgusted you, they lied and deceived and hurt you. Why would you want their name to pop up on your phone? And I think, because I've done a little bit of soul searching here and I talked to my therapist, and I think it's validation that I wasn't just easy to throw away and forget like trash. That I wasn't able to just be erased that easily to somebody who meant the world to me. Somebody who I thought actually really did care about my well-being. Knowing that stonewalling me triggers anger than anything on this planet. Was watching me have panic attacks. My brain is still trying to wrap around the fact that he did this. And, I've always been really, I'm not, people probably like, great, move on, but I'm not that type of person. When something hurts me, it hurts, and it hurts for a while. And I have to process it from every angle. I'm an overthinker. I have to look at it upside down, backwards, diagonally, frontwards, backwards, red, green, yellow, black, white, up, down, stop, go. Like, I have to process things from all angles. And part of that is because I've dated narcissists and liars for so long, and manipulators and gaslighters, that I always had to be a step ahead and try to figure them out, to have all the information, all the accuracy, so I can move forward with a decision, a choice, or a minute. So my brain's always looking for that answer. And I think it's because I want validation that I meant more to him than this, that it bothers him, that it's, down deep inside that he's ashamed of himself and is hurting because he hurt me. And it feels bad. But then I know he could say all that, but doesn't mean it. Because he wouldn't have put me in that position in the first place. He wouldn't have put the other girl in that position. He wouldn't have put his life through that position. And 99% of the time, people like that are always like that. They don't change. I'm just sad. And I know, we're all taught to be these warriors and to not tell people how we feel. And no, I've been bottling it up. And, the old Tiff would have done way more than what I did by telling his managers and posting things online and, just letting the cat out of the bag for some of his family. I would have done way more damage if I wasn't in a spot of healing and what I have done before I even dated him. So I want to, but I know it's not going to change what he did, and it's not going to help make me feel any better. Because I'm not a malicious, vicious person. I'm not spiteful. I don't like revenge. I'm not vindictive. But if you put me in a position where I have to be, I can be, and I'm going to regret it. I don't want to be. I don't choose to be. He pushed me at that point. He did. He pushed me into a corner, trying to turn the corner. And I don't think he realized the devastation that he's caused in my heart. I don't think he gives a fuck. I just don't think he cares. And I've gone since July 14th not speaking to him, as he reached out once just to basically talk down to me and not apologize or take accountability or understand where I was coming from, but just to basically yell at me through text and give me a warning. Stop talking about it, stop telling people that hurt, because it's almost like I'm just supposed to look the other way and accept the disrespect. No, I'm not that woman, but it hurt because he thinks so low of me that he thinks I should literally accept it and just look the other way. And that's why I started telling everybody, because he told me to just let it go. And that's what put the fire under my ass, because I was not going to sit there and act like this didn't happen. I've done that in the past, and I sure as hell wasn't going to do it with him, not with my best friend. Somebody who would talk to every single day. Somebody who I told my deepest, darkest secrets and demons to. Somebody who I was very vulnerable with, but I'm not usually like a lot of people in a few ways. And somebody that I looked up to, somebody that I respected, somebody that made me like, somebody that inspired me to do better and to go after my dreams, and that I can do, somebody that supported me and made me feel like I could do anything I set my mind to for the past 8 years. And to have that ripped out from under you, it's almost like you have to grieve somebody, act like they're dead, even though they're alive. And even though you want to talk to them, it's like putting your hand on a hot stove and expecting not to get burned every time. And it feels good when you do, because it validates your feelings, it justifies you, and makes you feel like you did better. But they don't change in a month. My hope is that he's doing some healing. My hope is he's becoming a better person. My hope is he's realizing what he did hurt somebody that loved him very much. I don't know if his wife is staying with him. I know the other girl he blocked. I don't know what's going on in his personal life. But what I do know is I wish I never crossed the line with a friend, because sometimes people should just only be your friend. And I don't know if I could be friends with somebody like that again, but it's really hard to accept that I don't have a choice. And it's really hard to process. And it is traumatizing, because I do feel like he died abruptly. And I have so many questions. I got a lot of answers from the other girl in the life, but the only thing he said to me the day I found out he was sleeping with somebody else and me at the same time, and still seeing his wife and working it out with her. And I was seeing him for 10 months, and then he picked up another girl along the way for the past 4, and then still working it out with his wife. And every time I asked he was seeing somebody or sleeping with somebody else or working it out with his wife, it was no. Running 2 businesses and having a toddler was his excuse why he was always so busy. She didn't know about me. I didn't know about her, meaning the wife. The other girlfriend didn't know about the wife. The wife didn't know about her. And me and the other girlfriend just found out about each other a month ago. So, I had suspicions about a month or 2 before, but I who it was. But I had suspicions that he was doing it with somebody, but I was like going behind my back and deceiving me and lying to me. And, I wasn't in a 100% committed relationship with this guy, but I was told 2 weeks prior that, he wanted to grow with me and build on this, and he ensured me he wasn't sleeping with anybody or seeing anybody. But meanwhile, he's working out with his wife, going counseling with her every week for 2 years, and then having somebody else on the side. Like, it's usually I can see right through people's bullshit. Usually I know when they're lying and cheating and deceiving, and he got one. He played one good on me. Like, honestly, I guess I never dealt with a covert narcissist. I've dealt with overts and charming tricksters and malicious narcissists, but I never dealt with a covert, and that I wasn't prepared for, because if I knew the signs, I wouldn't have fallen into his trap. And, I thought if I just gave the guy that no one gives a chance, like, at least I thought that I just didn't think he was the guy that had girls who lined up around the block. And I'm like, I really want someone who just treats me good. I don't really care what, about anything else. And was I wrong? And I said, there's no way he's like this. And I'm just like, I can't believe I've been ignoring what's in front of my face this whole time. Wish I kept ignoring it, because now I'm heartbroken. And I lost a friend and a business associate. And I had to be somebody I didn't want to be, to the point, and have respect for myself. And I wasn't going to look the other way. I wasn't going to give him another chance, because I've done that before and it got me nowhere. Now my motto is, your first impression better be your best impression, because it might be your last. So I'm not giving multiple chances for someone to look at me. I'm not. He showed who he was one time. I don't need to see a 10. But I don't wish bad will on somebody, bad ill, whatever you call it. I don't send bad vibes in the universe. I don't wish evil upon him. I don't wish bad things upon him. I wish he was a better man. I wish he understood how much he hurt me, and I wish he would explain to me on why he thought this was okay to do to me. And again, if you're not getting the full context, listen to episodes 1 and 2. I basically crossed the line with a friend of 8 years, my business associate, and had my hopes up and wanted to grow with him and be with him. And I kept it on the DL for a while. And I thought we were both doing that out of respect for the business, but apparently he did it because he was not wanting people to know so he could do what he wanted whenever with that whoever, and then keep his wife on the side. So that he lived separately from. So I found out there was somebody else going back to March, and I kind of thought so, but I asked him benefit of the doubt, and I listened to him, and I shouldn't have. And then I found out for real. It was the person I had suspicions of that he played dumb with. So I just didn't think him. I really did not in a million years think that man could hurt me or would want to. And he just played it so smooth. That's what they do. They get you hooked, man. Like I was seeing a future with this guy, and it doesn't happen to me often at all. So it hurts. But you know what hurts worse is losing him altogether, losing a friend who I thought was a friend. I don't even know what to call him. Like I don't know what to call him at this point. But you know, I hope he hears this, and I hope it hits him hard, and I hope he realizes the destructiveness he'd done for him, his kids, his wife, his business, always with me. And himself. Was it worth it? I don't think it was. We can just be honest with people. Why lie and cheat and end up in situations like this when you can just be honest? Because being honest is going to have way less consequences than what happens when you lie to deceive people. Maybe just in general, right? So why not just be honest? It's going to hurt for a second, but it's better than years and months and decades of lies on top of lies on top of lies, and then dealing with those consequences. But I miss them. I miss them every day. It's normal. It's normal to miss somebody that you talk to every single day. And I'm trying to separate the romanticized version of him that I had to who he is now, who he's always been. And I just didn't know it. So, you kind of have to like compartmentalize people and put them in a box and separate them. Like over here, it's who I knew, and over here is who I now know. And it's hard. It fucks with you. Like it fucks with your head, man. Like, because I will sit here and I'll miss him. But then I think of what he did, and I'm just like, was it all a lie all 8 years? Was it all bullshit? Or were there real moments? But I don't think he lied to me for 8 years to hook up with me. It just, but I'm talking about like the times I was with him after I started seeing him. Was any of that real, or was that an act? Clearly it was an act. So I lost a friendship that shouldn't have been. And I take accountability. I shouldn't have crossed that line. I knew this was going to happen. I called it from day one. And that's why it took me a whole year before I even gave into him. He would ask me to hang out, ask me to go to Lake City, ask me to take me to the river, ask me to, do this, do that, and the other, send flowers to my job. And it took me a whole year to finally say, okay, I'll give it a shot. And then when I gave it a shot, this is what he does to me. I'm embarrassed. I'm humiliated. I'm defeated. And I'm just at a loss here. Like, I'm still in shock over what he did, what he was able to do, and how he pulled it off. I have been mentally, emotionally, and verbally and physically abused for half my life. Honestly, since I was probably 20, I'm 38. I don't trust a man. I've never had a man protect me. I never had a man show me off. Never had a man make it known on social media I was their girlfriend. I never had a man be honest or loyal. I never had a man not make me be an FBI investigator. I never had a man not act like I'm crazy because I had to be an investigator, call them out in their bullshit. I never had a real man, and I'm almost 40, and I want my fairy tale. And I really did truly from the bottom of my heart think I was going to get that. And I don't need someone's money. I don't need someone's status. I don't need this, that, the other. I just wanted time. And if you go back and listen to my other episodes, you'll hear how sarcastic and I don't know the word, maybe coming off like I'm big, bad, and mighty because like I wasn't going to let it bother me. And now it's a different tone. I feel different about it. Again, I wait for my phone to light up. He blocked me on Instagram. He blocked me on Facebook, but for some reason didn't block me on Snapchat. I don't have him as a friend on there, but he didn't block me, but he blocked my other accounts. Like, I don't know, rhyme or reason. I don't know if he's keeping the door open for when he wants to reach. I don't know. I really don't. And I'm just really confused. And again, he's the only one who has the answer. So I don't know if anybody out there has dealt with this. Have you been a homewrecker without trying to be a homewrecker? That's what I feel like I am, but I'm not. Like, had I known he was still working it out with his wife, guys, like I would have never, and I know what it's like to be cheated on. I would have never done that to another woman. And when I found out all of this, I talked to her. I gave her screenshots. I gave her proof. I gave her timestamps and receipts. I wasn't going to look the other way. That's not fair. I've been in that position where I wish people would have told and showed me. And, all I could do was give her the tools, but I can't force her to leave. I can't force her to do anything, but at least I cleared my conscience and was honest with the woman, and I don't know if he cares. I just have a feeling he's going to wait till she's complacent again and then sort of bullshit again. But I don't know if any of you out there have dated men or women who was literally separated, living separately, and had his girlfriend, his wife, and another girlfriend revolving around him and nobody knew it. Like, I guess he's such a good pathological liar, and he really knows how to shuffle his time. Like, he always said, "Oh, I'm just so burnt out." Well, fucker, I would be too if I was juggling 2 girlfriends and a wife and 2 businesses and a toddler. Yeah, I would be fucking burnt out too. But I'm struggling with the fact that he could just cut me off, throw me away, erase me like I never existed, and then almost make me out to be the problem. Like, I'm sorry, sir. Like, I didn't date you, and I didn't date you while having a husband and 2 boyfriends for you to find out down the road. Like, I didn't tell you I wanted to be with you and work things out and grow naturally, and then 2 weeks later have another guy reach out to me, tell you that he's been dating me for 10 months. Like, no, or 4 months, whatever. He dated me for 10, the other girl for 3. But like, I never had another guy have to reach out to him and tell him that. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're blaming me for your action. So that's gaslighting and manipulation. And I don't know if he'll ever take accountability. I don't know if he'll ever reach out and apologize. And is it going to change anything? I don't know. I honestly can wholeheartedly say I don't know. He claims, "Oh, there's nothing I can do now. Damage is done." Okay, so don't even try. You're not even going to try to fix it or try to apologize. Nothing. Just, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, it's easier to run and hide than to even try. And that just shows my worth to him in his eyes. Like, I know I'm not worth this just because of him. But in his eyes, that's how low that he thinks of me, that it's just worth writing me off and not even bothering. Apparently, I didn't mean shit to him, clearly. I think he got himself into a big mess and he didn't know how to get out of it. I really do. He kept saying, "I don't know what I want with the other one." And I think it's because he honestly was seeing 3 women and he didn't know who he wanted. He liked the comfort from all of us. He liked the attention from all of us. I don't know. Maybe he wanted to be a sugar daddy. I don't know. But I'm confused and I'm shocked. And it really hurts to have to cut somebody off that you'd want out of your life. It's somebody who you wanted to spend your life with. Like, and it's been since June 26th. I've heard from him once, maybe twice. It's been almost a month since I have. But again, he came at me like I'm the problem. And he's had time. He's had time to think. He's had time to take accountability and responsibility. He's had time to apologize. He's had time to explain. And he just chooses to be a coward. I think he thinks if he, stays away and be quiet long enough, it'll just be forgotten about. But that's not how I operate. I will literally hold on to something for 20 years and address it when I feel I have the opportunity to. Like, I'm not going to just look the other way and say, "Okay, it's over, done with. Let's just forget about it." No, because that's what enables them. When people look the other way and stay quiet because they don't want to get involved or don't want to deal with it, just want to make peace, they enable it. I'm not an enabler. I refuse. So I've had a lot of thoughts. I've had a lot of time to sit and think, and wrote an email and nothing. The last email I wrote was not to harass. It wasn't to be mean or argue or start an argument or be cruel. It was explaining to somebody the bare minimum of human decency when they're 47 years old. Somebody that I shouldn't have to explain it to. I mean, it's really disheartening that men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s are still doing this to women. And I think in my last episode, I talked about generational issues of it. Seems like men from mid-30s to 60s all are the same because it's how they were raised. A lot of us millennials come from families who were split up, broken, abused, broken homes. They all just seem the same because it's almost like an epidemic. Like, everybody I talk to is getting cheated on, lied to, or divorced because of cheating and abuse. Like, it's insane. So, like, I just wanted him to hear me. To be given some human decency and shown some respect, like some compassion would be nice. And I guess some people would rather just cut someone off than admit they were wrong or deal with someone who's hurt or angry. If admitting the truth means seeing yourself as dishonest or hurting someone you claim to care about, you're choosing denial and distance instead. And this is some of the information that I had emailed to him, trying to be as calm and straightforward as possible. And I told him, I'm like, I'm not looking to argue I'm not looking to harass you or put anybody or anything in jeopardy. Like, I'm reaching out to be considered and to be given human decency, right? So, like, I had surgery, and when I came out of anesthesia, my first thought was, oh, wow, did he check in? Does he give a fuck enough about me to see if I survived? No, like, I know confronting him is probably causing, I told him this, it's triggering shame, guilt, and fear of consequences, and blocking or disappearing lets him avoid the uncomfortable conversation. It's a way for him to end the conversation on his terms and avoid answering difficult questions. That's what I said to him. I'm like, choosing avoidance over honesty. I said, that doesn't make lying okay. It simply means you're not willing or able to have an accountable conversation. So it's more about your coping style, maturity, and willingness to be honest. And clearly cannot bring himself to do it, and hoping that if enough time passes, the situation will fade without him having to address it. These are some of the things I have said to him over the past month. But for him to avoid accountability and blocking me, it doesn't mean I did something wrong. It's a way for him to escape the consequences of his own behavior. And I guess I'm just a reminder to him of his dishonesty, and blocking me doesn't resolve what happened. It just ends conversation. I mean, really, that's all that it does. And the patterns that he created was the dishonesty itself. Like, rather than a misunderstanding between us, this was straight up pure disrespect. And from day one, I had asked this man to tell me the truth, and it led to this. And again, if I knew he was working it out with his wife, I would have never crossed that line. And if I knew he was sleeping with another girl, I would have ran. But I figured him out, I think, from day one. I was just in denial. And I had gut feelings, but I wanted to take somebody for the benefit of the doubt for once and not compare them to somebody else. And I know his willingness to deceive multiple people isn't evidence that I was naive or like not enough, but it's evidence that he made choices that affected several people at once. This wasn't a situation where he told one lie to one person. He was maintaining different versions of reality with multiple people. When those versions started to collide, blocking me was his way of limiting the damage rather than addressing what happened. And closure and accountability are two different things. And the fact that his wife and the other girl also discovered the deception shows that it was nothing of what was lacking in me. Like, he always said that he was fucked up, not me, he. And the common thread wasn't the people he was involved with. His choices. So, he used to say, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want blah, 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 blah. Well, then don't hurt me. But here we are. So thanks for the favor, buddy. And then telling me a few weeks before this all, I found out everything that he wanted this to grow. And now all of a sudden he didn't want a relationship. That's just a narcissistic thing to say. Turning it around on me to blame me because he got caught. And now he's trying to make it look like he wasn't trying to do anything with me or this other girl to save his ass for his wife, because she keeps putting up with it. So that's right. Turn it all around on me. Tell me that you didn't want a relationship, but then I had screenshots of 2 weeks prior, you telling me that you want to grow with me and let it evolve naturally. Okay. So we'll go with that. We'll go with the gaslighting manipulation. So you look like a better person. Get the fuck out of here. So he wanted everybody to believe that he didn't do anything wrong and that it was all on the girls. He switched his Facebook back from separated back to married. So to make it look like we're lying. People who know me know I don't lie. And I wasn't wrong for confronting him. I didn't cause this to happen. And his lack of judgment and consideration did. So I told him, I'm like, if you cared at all, why wouldn't you at least apologize? But I said, an apology from you requires responsibility, and you just can't do it. I said, your decision to block me doesn't erase what happened or make my concerns any less valid, or as if I said, I'm not looking to argue. I just want some human decency and to be shown some respect for once. I said, what? Does telling different versions collide and you're choosing silence because every conversation risks exposing more inconsistencies? I said, the hurt is also about losing someone I called a best friend. Feeling that my trust was misused, wondering what was genuine, and not getting the chance to say everything I wanted to say. I sometimes ask myself, did he ever really care? Was I just another notch on his belt? How could someone do this to me, claim they care, and then act like I don't exist? No, I'd gone through it before, but this was different. He was not supposed to be this man. So blocking me shows many motivations. It shows avoidance, shame, fear, conflict and self-protection. Now, one thing I know he hates is conflict. I know he hates being confronted. I know he hates people knowing his business. I just want an open, honest conversation, one that I deserved from the beginning. What has me hurt the most isn't just that he was involved with other people. It's that someone that I called a best friend and someone I cared about, knowing my past and my trauma, and he still chose to deceive me and silence me and put me back in that same situation. That's very difficult to process, and it weighs on me every single day. He left without an ending that makes sense, and my mind keeps revisiting it all. I'm trying to fill in the missing pieces, but then again, I have them all wrong. If he thinks blocking me and ignoring me is to protect me and not him, he's wrong. And that's what I told him. I said, it's causing more damage, and it's not helping me or you. I'm a communicator. I said, ignoring me makes my trauma spiral, and it's not a favor. Staying silent isn't protecting me, and you're not doing this for me. You're doing it for you, so you don't have to take accountability. Staying away isn't being kinder. It's harsh. One of the cruelest parts is that he caused the confusion, and the only one who can answer my questions is him, and he may never choose to. I told him I missed the person he thought he was. I feel abandoned by his actions. I said, I don't want an apology. I want the truth, start to finish. And for him to understand why, or for him, I want the truth, start to finish. And I want him to explain to me why he did it and why he chose to hurt me. And an apology doesn't give me clarity. It doesn't mean anything at this point. It's just words. But I guess to him, I'm just not worth an explanation. I meant so little that he could just erase me. That's how I truly feel, guys. And his decision not to explain tells me something about how he handles a painful situation. It doesn't tell me my worth. I wasn't asking him to be perfect, I said. I was asking you to be honest all the time. I deserved honesty then, and I deserve it now. My experience is real. The hurt is real. The betrayal is real. And it means I'm trying to rebuild a world that suddenly stopped making sense. Blocking me has me clearing all the unanswered questions. It feels like he got to write the ending of a book while I was left reading half of it. When he said there's nothing I can do, what I heard was, I'm not even going to try. So I told him. I said the man I knew wasn't this man, or so I thought. No way in hell. None. My love for him didn't disappear overnight just because I learned the truth, I said, you either don't care or don't think that no matter what you say or do isn't going to fix anything. So you block and hide to take the easy way out. I once knew someone who made me feel close enough that I felt safe and hoped for a future. But then almost overnight, I had to reconcile that image with him deceiving multiple people. And the fact that I still miss the man before the lies doesn't mean I'm foolish. It means my love was based on the information I had. I didn't fall in love knowing he was deceiving me. I fell in love believing he was being honest. And those are two very different things. I don't think I've been waiting all this time because I'm desperate to get back. I think I've been waiting because a part of me keeps hoping somehow he'll prove that the man I loved wasn't entirely an illusion. My trust was real, my hope was real, and my grief is real. This is my story to tell people. This happened to me. His deception does not erase the sincerity which I loved him. And I want to know why I wasn't worth truth. I want to know why he did it, knowing how I've been treated in the past. The damage has been done, he said, but there was something you could have done. I said, you could have answered my questions, could have apologized. You could have acknowledged my pain. You could have taken responsibility. I'm asking for humanity. For you to sit across from me and say, I know I hurt you, and I'm willing to hear how it affected you. Healing doesn't come from pretending the good memories never happened, nor from ignoring the betrayal. It comes from holding both truths at once. There were real moments that mattered to me, and there were choices that you made that caused deep harm. I said losing you, especially without an honest ending, is a profound loss. 8 years is a long time. I didn't meet him, date him for a few months, and get hurt like this other girl. I knew him as a friend for 8 years. Someone I talked to almost, if not saw or talked to every single day for 8 years. When someone that I've trusted for that long hurt me, I feel like I'm losing nearly close to a decade of my life, friendship, a business associate, not just a relationship. And my trust wasn't built overnight, I said. It was built over years of conversations, shared experiences, and getting to know each other way before it was ever intimate. After 8 years, I said, how do you do this to me? I said, you are the one and only man I never imagined would be this confused and heartbroken. If someone asked me the question, who would be at top of the list on who would never do that to me, I said, you're you'd be at the top of that list. How could someone who made me feel so respected, so supported and accepted and cared for become someone who could leave me in so much pain? I miss you, I said. Even after everything, I miss my friend more than anything else. And I just wish I meant more to him than silence. I just miss you. And it's okay for me to miss someone who was a constant in my life every day for 8 years. It's like, again, I have to grieve someone who's still alive. Life doesn't make sense without me in it. And I'm not saying that in a romantic way. I told him just in general. I said, you knew your other girl for a few months. How she feels is nowhere near how I feel. I'm not saying her feelings don't matter, but it's a whole different dynamic. I said, me and you, we've had a bond for 8 years. That doesn't just go away overnight. It's hard for me to process that I lost my best friend overnight. I just wish I knew why. You could have had anyone in Northeast PA, I said, and you had to hurt me in ways that have traumatized me before by other men. I said, I just miss you, and I don't know if that will ever change. I said, we go back 8 years. Doesn't that mean anything? Do I mean anything to you at all? Or did you just erase me like it feels like? Like I'm so easy to just forget and throw away. But again, his choice is to not speak to me. It doesn't make me worthless. It doesn't mean I'm invaluable. It's just a reflection of his character and how he chose to handle the situation. Not because I'm not good enough, I said. I hope he hears me, and I hope I hear from him sooner than later. But I'm not looking to argue. I'm not angry anymore. I'm sad. And I'm not looking to fight. I'm not looking to ruin someone's life. I'm not looking to be bitter. I want communication. I'm a communicator. I want open, honest conversation. I mean, it can't get any worse. Telling me the truth is not going to be any worse than what I just found out. So I guess it's easier for people to deal with the consequences of lies, deceit, and dishonesty, and abuse, and cheating, and then just talk about the truth. Like I will never understand it because I'm just a very transparent person, but I would assume it's easier to tell the truth than, to create this. And I if he's listening, I hope he hears this. So if you are, I miss you. Very hurt. I'm not mad. I'm not angry. I'm hurt. I don't know if it can be fixed. I'm just talking on a fun level. I don't know. I wouldn't know until I talked to him and see how I felt. But I want conversation. I want an explanation. I want honesty. I want sympathy. I want compassion. I want some respect. But I don't think I'm ever going to get it. And it's just one of those things that you just have to accept and move on from and think of them in a box, someone you knew versus someone you know now. And honestly, pretending somebody's dead is easier. It makes it make sense. I thought this person was the one. I thought this person was the guy. It's just never in a years thought he could be that guy. And if he can't be the good guy, then I'm fucked. Because I've been through some bad shit with men, and if he can't even be good, then like what? I don't feel like I'm ever gonna find a good man that I can trust. I will always feel like they're cheating. I will always feel like they're lying or have an ulterior motive. Then that's not my fault. That's their fault. And people can say I'm crazy or insecure, or jealous, or broken, or whatever they want to fucking call me. I'm not any of those names. I'm a realist, and I live with what happened to me, and I understand why I do what I do. And so I do. I know I should not say that I miss him or would be open to conversation. And a lot of people would say, fuck that, I'm never speaking to him again. And I should be like that. I'm not ignorant and naive to that fact. But my brain, again, is looking for some kind of explanation so it makes sense. I'm an overthinker. I have ADD. I have trauma. I have PTSD. My brain is looking for the answers to fill the gaps to my heart. Again, it doesn't change what he did. It doesn't make everything all better. It doesn't tie it up with a pretty bow, place in a box, and put up on a shelf. My heart's broken. It doesn't mean that I'm not worth something. It doesn't mean that I don't matter because he decides to stonewall me for his own actions. But he's got to blame somebody, right? He's never going to blame himself because I told people, so did the other girl, but I told more people I'm the problem because I ruined his reputation. That's the problem. That's what he's mad about. That people got the truth, not because he hurt me. He's not mad that I found out the truth. He's mad that I told people the truth. But he knew. He knew the type of person I was. He knew what I was going to do if I found out. And I did. I don't make threats. I make promises. And he fucked around and found out. Like literally fucked around and found out. And he should have known better. I should have known better. I should have made better choices. I should have never crossed the line with a friend and a business associate. I should have never believed him when I asked him the first time about his wife. Oh, we're just separated. I should have just went right to her. Next time I'm Who are you going to be next time? But if I ever talk to somebody who's separated again, who lives separately from my wife, I'm literally going to ask the wife. But the only reason why I didn't this time is because I'm like, I don't want to look like I'm that girl and unhinged and insecure and jealous and crazy. No, next time I'm going to be that girl. Because I'll save myself and them a lot of fucking pain. I feel horrible because I'm not a homewrecker. I would never, ever, ever, ever mess with somebody's husband or boyfriend. And he put me in that position. Knowing that I've been cheated on, it's traumatizing me more than physical abuse. And then he puts me in a situation where he's cheating on his wife with me. That's fucked up. That's even worse. I have been playing this over and over and over in my head for almost 2 months, and I'm not getting any more clarity than I had to begin with. And I guess I'm going to get to a point where I'm now going to have to accept that I'm just not going to get truth. And the truth that I have is that he screwed me over, hurt me, thinks less of me, didn't respect me, doesn't see my worth, doesn't value me, doesn't appreciate me, and prepared to fucks if he ever speaks to me again. And I meant absolutely nothing to him. That's the truth. That's what I have to accept and take as an explanation. Because if he did care, he wouldn't hide like a little bitch. He would run, he'd have balls, and he'd talk to me. He'd apologize. He's had time. He's had enough time to cool down and have an open, honest conversation. But he's just going to block me and act like we never existed. And you know what? That's on him. That's a reflection of his character, not mine. I was hurt. I'm still going to hear him out. You'd rather die. That hurts. I'm not a bad person. And I don't think down deep inside he is. I don't think he maliciously planned it out to hurt people. He just literally got himself into a mess and he didn't know how to get out of it. And he didn't know how to be honest. That's his downfall. That is his downfall in life, is he doesn't know how to be an honest person. And if he could fix that and correct that, he'd be okay. I mean, I think everything else about him is fine. Successful, he's a good dad. It's funny. But if he could fix his pathological lying, I mean, I think he'd be a pretty good man. And I'm just sad I found out that he's not. And somehow, some way, I hope this podcast episode helps somebody out there. That's why I do it. I just vent because it's cheaper than a therapist. And a therapist that says, just put it in an email or text it to me. That doesn't do shit for me. Oh, you've got to get it out. Well, I'm going to turn on my podcast. So hopefully somebody out there has been in a situation like this. If you have, please message me, because I don't know how to navigate it. I never dated somebody who had a wife or that was separated or has a kid. So I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it. And it would be nice to talk to somebody who's in the same position as me. I hate that you have, but it would be nice to talk to somebody who gets it. You can email me, clientscorner@gmail.com. That's KLINESKORNER@gmail.com. Or you can message me on Instagram, turning_the_corner. I want to hear from him, but I don't think that's going to happen. So if anybody out there can help, I would love to hear it, because I still don't know how to process all this. I'm tired. I'm just tired. And I really did thought I meant more to do this than being just a great awful blog. Like, I was just some piece of ass, another notch on his belt that he could give two fucks about. I thought he valued me more than that. And that's really hard to swallow. So until next time, again, you don't gotta like me. You don't have to agree with me, but you have to respect me. This is Turning the Corner. I'm your host, Tiff. Please follow me on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube. Check out my Instagram page and TikTok, Turning the Corner. I talk to you soon.